This scope. I don't know if you remember how it was on before, but so new adventure. I started with extend. This was the site I did months ago. As you can see, this is basically based on the scope I made first, like a year ago. Anyway, basically it sits here and then it goes there, which was not too bad. However, I would like it to follow this curve here. Because I did this side and already fiberglass it in, it doesn't look pretty, but it works. I decided to put the other side in. So I started with the same principle, just put it on and then fiberglass around it, and it follows this curve like that. Next step would be to make this area, so close the door like that. You can see this is still off here, right? And then this. So what I want is from about here, this will be ending somewhere there, and if you go up, it will be here. So from here I will make a smooth surface going into this side scope, and this I still have to fiberglass and body filler, etc, etc. However, on the inside here you can see it's all molded in on that side. Just a tiny gap over there which I have to fill up, and over there, and cut away this side there. So when you have that, you have more space to put like the scope over here. So that will be my next step. However, because of this area, I basically have to get more fiberglass. So this is made from the u-pol stuff, which is very, very strong. The only problem is if you have it this side, it's pretty, as you can see, it breaks. So basically you have to fix that. Best way would be make some kind of support in between. So you basically raise this part so you get more strength on this piece, so it won't go in that much. But no matter what, you have to make it about this thickness anyway. So you're going down and all this thickness should be the same. But this is basically what I'm doing right now. And if you look at from the front of the car, you can kind of see the idea behind it. So it would, like, it would go, oh, sorry, it's really hard to focus. So it will, on the back of the scope, it goes straight and flat into the thing. And then the front of the scope, the idea is to get air in as much as possible. So that's currently what I'm doing. So the car is all filthy and everything, as you can see. However, I will do that first side first. Try to make it exactly like that. When I have this side, I'm going to take the other side off and see how that goes. In the meanwhile, since I'm doing this, I will be starting with these kind of things. There's little chips here. Might try to fix this because it doesn't look great. So I'm going to try and see if we can make this a lot nicer. Then this area here, you can see how it is not perfectly straight. So that's something I will be doing. Even this area where it's off, and even if I push it in, it doesn't go much more than this, which can be fixed with a bracket or something. But since I'm designing this kind of scope idea, it doesn't matter if it's off. I will be going from that area and then slowly into there, and the same on the front, hopefully trying to get this as flat as possible. And then people making noise. Anyway, try to get this as flat as I can with the scope idea there, scope idea on the back, make it all nice and smooth as far as I can do with my the way it looks, and then have to re-fiberglass everything again. Then I started with this. So basically, as you can see, this is not perfect, and then this wasn't great. So, and then there. So what I'm going to do most likely is I'm going to, when I'm taking this off, because after I finished on the car and this, the curve is correctly, I'm taking this off and sand it down from the inside, etc. So for example, this curve, as you can see here, it is good, but as you can see, the top area is a lot more. That's why I wanted to extend this. I know it doesn't matter if you open the door, but if I could extend it a tiny bit, that might be good. Otherwise I leave it like this and just add the scope, and that will add the whole thing. Then this area here, I'm thinking of making this gap smaller, so I have to start with there. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it on this side, over here on this side, or the other side. I still have a tiny gap here, which means I can fill up a tiny bit. Then on that side, over here, I could fill this up as well, but I still have to decide what I'm going to do with trying to get this gap a bit smaller. On the back of the car, it's all these little things. I'm not sure if I'm going to do them right now. It would be a great moment to do that actually, but I'm not sure what I want yet, because I'm also looking to get this area covered, so it's not completely, big fat lights. I would like it covered from here and then wrap over this light idea. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do that right now, or if it's something, it might take me a while to design something like it. Will still be able to use the lights and take them off, etc. So I could make them on this side actually, and then wrap over here. But then the problem is I still have this part, and I would like it to go over there, but still from this light. Anyway, that's something for later. Other than that, the back of the car, I still have a hole here. Hey, where did that come from? Hey, that's a new hole actually. Never seen that hole. So wherever this came from, I need to fix. So I might be taking the bumper off again and start doing all these little cracks here and cracks there, etc. And this is still okay. I'm going to re-fiberglass or re-plastic the whole car. Still have this side up to fix. Basically the problem with this side is that it's this gap, so if I push it, nothing happens. So what I'm going to do is, when I take the other side off, I'm going to re-fiberglass the whole support system, and when that side is right, I'm going to work on this side, because if you look at the gap between there and there, that's not right. So I think, because if that side is correct and this side is way off, and this actually can show you. So if I do open, yeah. So if I close this, you can see how off this side is. So this side had to go up a tiny bit, basically. So what I'm going to do is, if I adjust the back of the car, so this gap is correct, hopefully that goes a little bit better. Otherwise, I disconnect this support and lower it a tiny bit. But to do that, I need to have that side correct first, and then I will start on this side. So that's something else. And you can see the scope, it's the same principle, just a lot shorter on that side. And then the bonnet we have here, all this stuff, basically I need to fix, because this doesn't look so pretty. Just need to find a way to get this smoothed out. Most likely I'm thinking of getting tape and basically doing that. But I can start from here and go all over, but that's a lot of fiberglass. I'm not sure if I want to do that. Otherwise, I might just make some tape and go over that and do that. Other than that, that light is still off, which I kind of have to fix, but it works. So not 100% sure. These things are so annoying, so I don't feel like doing that right now. This side is actually better, but this light, as you can see here, it's wrapped around it, but on the other side, it's behind it. So I think I need to take this light and find a way somewhere to get this around the behind the lights. So that's something for later. It's a lot of work and a lot of stuff to do. Anyway, I will start with all this stuff now, and then I will show the process in between, etc. No matter what, I have to go to Harvard first to get more of the u-pol filler that I'm using. actually I will show you which one I'm using in case you do want to do this stuff yourself. And it actually, the one that I'm using right now seems a bit easier to work with. Oh, I threw it out. Give me a second. It's still sitting here. So this is the one that I'm using right now, and that one is a lot better than previous versions I have been using. So that will be a start, and then hopefully one day I'm able to make extensions for my ring. Not sure if I can make them from u-pol or let's use something else, but I want my ring about this much wider. Hopefully one day I'm able to do that. So but that's whatever, later, or maybe pay someone to do this. So yeah, well, keep watching and I will try to do as much as possible in this video, and otherwise it will be part 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. So what I did was not really interesting, but I decided to the inside of the fiberglass, I already did that, but I decided to put another layer on it and fiberglass it basically to the edge, and just over the edge actually. The reason is so it can bond better, and then I put a little bit, really hard to see, but I put more on the inside there, and then I started to make this part thicker. So to see how that goes, I tried to put that one, but I have to sand it down, put some more fiberglass on it to see how that goes. Now I'm actually going to start with the part of trying to bond this to this. So as I showed before, the problem is that this part of the fiberglass is higher than the other part of the body kit. So even if I push it in, which does a tiny bit, but it's not perfect. So as you can see now, that's kind of the best I could do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start bonding from this side. I had never did this before, so I have no idea how it's going to work out. Anyway, let's start. First I'm going to take some of this, a bit of that, and put it on this. So I created a plastic barrier because fiberglass shouldn't bond to plastic. Where, oh, damn it, that's the only problem, flies. Here we go. The only problem is with flies that you get. Anyway, while this is hardened, I basically smoothen it down as you see here, to get a general shape. Like I said, I want to smooth it in. So the only way to do that is to, while this is drying in the process, start doing this. Because if you do it when it's dry, it won't work. So you have to continue doing this as much as possible. As you can see, it's not straight, but that's something I fixed later. But yeah, if you can see, because this side is thicker, it gets very close to that. Also, this part is a little bit higher, which I'm going to check later and see if it's actually even. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the difference between there, and make a tape, and that's going to be my starting point. That's how I do it. Okay, so I would never advise to use this, but I do it anyway because I'm just stupid. So now you can see how far I'm off. Well, like I said, this isn't straight, so if I push this in, which is kind of the max, you can see I need a tiny bit more, and it's pretty flat. On this side, it gets there. It needs to go a little bit more out. But that's the whole reason why I use this. So I can literally cut it tiny bit by tiny bit before I'm going to get the big machine. So for the next step, I made a bit more. I'm actually going to smooth this section. So basically what I will do is I will put fiberglass over this whole section, and before it fully dries up I will cut it out so it should be straight. So in the meanwhile I'm waiting for this to dry. I decided to fill up all the little tiny holes that I could find. As you can see, it's still not perfect on this side, which is something I might have to fill up to get this area smoothed out. However, I did all that and it doesn't look great, as you can see, but that's okay. This part though, I need to keep an eye on this so it doesn't get too hard. Otherwise then it's all connected, which shouldn't be the case. So what I'm going to do now is getting a knife and I'm going to slice through it. So I made a tiny little mistake, which was basically I let this harden too much, which caused these to bond no matter what, even if I cut it. So I had to open the door and basically put some fiberglass on this side, and I will sand it all down anyway. But the door's closed, so you can see it's a lot better. This is pretty much straight, which I will confirm by when this is all dry, sanding that down. So the next question is what I'm going to do with this. Am I going to put some fiberglass on it and let it smooth in, or am I cutting this part away? The reason is because this goes in here, so I think it's better to have it smooth. Anyway, so this is how it looks from the side so far, and as you can see, this should be very, very flat. Here on the front is still the same issue, as you can see. That doesn't matter, we're going to work on the back anyway. So you can see this line of fiberglass here, which means this has to go smooth in more. But as you can see, there, the line is pretty good. So when I'm going to sand it down, I'm starting in the middle to make sure that's all flat and then work on the outside. So I took my 120 sandpaper and I made it smoothish. So I just have to go over that side and you know how to stuff. But you can see that this part now actually is a lot smoother, which is a good sign. And I just need to get a 240 and go over a tiny bit more so it actually flows in. But it looks good. Before I made this temporary construction to hold my lights up, since I'm taking this whole panel off, I'm going to fix these little things here. I'm going to improve this again. Then on this side, that one broke off, which I'm going to fix as well. So I'm going to do all the tiny little things at the same time. So I'm kind of trying a repair here, which is a lot harder because it's in an angle. So I'm trying this way, so this cardboard on the outside, try to let it dry, same on this side, and then sand it down, fiberglass the other side, hope it's all going good. Anyway, pretty creative here, so I'm going to try and see if this works. Anyway, I cut that side down. Well, I didn't cut it, I sanded it down as much as I could on that side, so the hole is a little bit bigger, gives me more space for the intercooler as well. So I used this hardener for now, see if it's any good. I unfortunately switched back to that one, couldn't find anything else. So I'm doing some repairs here which broke off earlier, so I fixed that part. I'm going to do that and these parts, and I sand down the inside a bit. So now I'm starting on the side door panel, see if I can get some of the hardener sorted. So I tried a bit of body filler. It looks like crap, but I'm letting this dry, then start sanding it down a bit by hand, I guess. But it's starting to look smooth-ish. Like I said, I don't know how this is going to work. I never used body filler before. I always left it the way it was with the fiberglass, which looks like this. Which isn't even, as you can see. So I'm hoping to do it better on the other side, but I'm starting with the top there. See if we can use some body filler, see if we can get this as in an okay shape, and if that's the case, I can do the rest on the panel there. So while I was doing this blob, which looks like crap, but it doesn't matter right now, I figured this is wrong. So I had to create a blob on that side to create some kind of shape like that, and then sand it down later. So yeah, that was a little mistake that I made while doing this. Anyway, this toe looks pretty good, so that's a good sign. Here's another update. I have been doing this since 4 o'clock and I think it's like 7 almost. Anyway, so what I did was I finished the form of the scope already. I finished the part that goes down, as you can see. It's nice. Then I decided to fill this up. So I only have it done till there. I know I shouldn't be using filler, but well, it's the only way I can do it. So I'm going to fill this up all the way to about there. So it goes in smooth from this side. This is dry-ish, wet-ish. Anyway, so yeah, the idea is to get this in. And the good thing is the door opens. As you can see, it's very tight. Like, it's hitting over there. But that's not the most important right now, because I will sand that down anyway. So I decided to do that. So you can see the general shape of the scope getting shape and form. While I was doing that, I decided to make this part, make this a little bit more smooth as well. And the reason is because this side of the bonnet was staying open. It stayed up, it had a gap. Decided to do that, so I fiberglassed all the way inside. As you can see, it's not pretty, but it doesn't matter. So I fiberglassed inside, will sand it down again. Then I will put the body filler on the inside as well, just to make it a nice one piece. So if I close the bonnet now, which I will do quickly. Okay, so when I close the bonnet now, it actually looks smooth. So it's not perfect, because I still have a little gap over here, which I will fix later. So what I want to do is, when it's down like that, so I want to smooth out this side a tiny bit more, a little bit more there, and then this looks all even. Well, not even, but you get what I mean. It's getting there on that side. Then the other side I would have to do, but this one has to be pushed in a lot more. Actually, I think this one has to go up a bit and then that way. And it's the same issue, as you can see. So, need to fix that. So yes, unfortunately, this side of the car is a lot trickier. But let me show you the scope. So, if you're looking, let's say the air comes in from about this area. That's how the scope is. The old version, I would call it version 1. And then I will go to the other side. So here is version 2. As you can see, it's a lot bigger, and like I said, the air should go in, you know, smoothly, as much as I can, obviously. I don't have a wind tunnel here, but yeah, you can see the difference. Ow. You can see the difference, even from here. So the air coming in on that side of the car, and the air coming on that side of the car, even though the scopes are the same, left and right are the same. Just because I extended it so much on the other side, hopefully it works better. Plus, if I get this right, I actually think this looks so much cooler with this sorted and done. So yeah, then whenever I get a chance, which is hopefully tomorrow if it's dry, I will continue and start sanding all this stuff down. So a few days have been passed. I sanded down, made the scope as much as I could. It's not finished, but I'm going to make it black and plastic to see how it looks in the end. So you can see the inside is still crap, but this is basically the general shape of the scope. I also made this line gap a little bit better than before. I adjusted the tail lights so they are more in now. This part is still off, but I had to push it in more. I fixed this part because it was broken. It doesn't really matter in general terms about how, but to see how it looks in general, I need to plastic it a bit. So I fill it up. I'm just going to do test spray here on the ground, then go on that and see how that goes. So at the moment it's just warming up. Put it back in, and then I will adjust this and do that. So I adjust it to the minus as you can get. There we go. It's spraying. So now I'm going to adjust it to the maximum. And there we go. So ready to go. So first I still start with a light coat, just to get it covered, and then the rest. So for the first coat, this is basically all you want. Officially, you should remove the old plastic dip first, then do the whole side. However, since I just do this to see how it looks, and with the scope, the design and everything, I decided to leave it. Then in a later stadium I will go over the whole car again, when I know everything is perfect and everything is sanded right and all that stuff. So that's something for later. So I did the first light coat there, I did a bit of a light coat over here, and a little bit of a light coat over there. Those are the three main parts that I want to do today. This is the first light coat. So here's another coat on. Still the light coats. You can still see the difference between the old plastic dip and the new plastic dip, but in the end hopefully it looks about the same. So I started with that, started with this over here, and started with this over here. Like I say, oh I'm sorry, and that over there. Like I say, I don't really care about how it looks at the moment. I just want the car at least one color, so it's a start. So here's another coat on the car. This is the second wet coat. Oh, that's not good. A bit of plastic dip sitting here. Well, there we go. Anyway, this is the second wet coat on the back of the car. As you can see, it looks more even. Don't get me wrong, the scope is still shit. But it's slowly getting to the stage where it's going to be one color. Just need to figure out a way to clean the other side with all the plastic that I did. So this part is again is normal, and that part should be black again. So that's for now. I'm going to do 2 more coats, and then I'm going to open the door and spray the inside, and also there on that side I need to fix. So after I did the wet coat, totally forgot to film the rest. So I've been driving for a few days. I have finished that coat. So you can see that the way I designed this isn't right. See, because it goes this and then it goes that. It could work, but I think it would be better if it went a little bit more straight. But this part is flat. This part I couldn't get right, so decided to not bother too much with it at the moment. Same with this. As you can see, this should be all nice and flat, basically. If you look at this side, you can see that it's, well, I don't know if you can see it. Basically, this part is higher than that part. But the idea is to make it flat. So like this, it should be exactly flat from here all the way to the back. So this is how the scope looks with plastic dip on it. Like I've seen, that's why I put plastic dip, because you can see a scratch there, so I have to sand that down. You can see how crap this looks, because I never decided to finish that, because it wasn't important. The scope itself is not pretty, but it is prettier than it is before. So just imagine that this will be part of the whole body kit, all perfect, then it would look like the scope just belongs there first, and even the body lines is not that bad. Looks weird, but it is not that bad. See, this is how it looks in the back, and this is how it looks on this side. Let me see if the door's even open. No, it was closed. But you can see how that body line goes like that. If you look, you can see it looks like goes like that, and that body line, which is extended, goes a bit like that, which isn't bad. I fixed, well, I didn't fix, but I made this side better. I did that. All this is just concept, really. I just see what I can do before I get this kit replicated with all the additional changes that I made to the car. But yeah, this is how it looks with the plastic dip and with the scope S version made into the body kit. So yeah, that's how it is for now. Still loads to do, but it gives an idea about what I was locking and how the concept is with the scope. And I will show you again. This is how it will. So I am going to get a new intake, which will feed air from here, which will be actually in a video later. Well, I'm not sure when, maybe in a week or so, about the difference between having a cold air intake feeding in the engine bay, which sits on that side here, and then I have this little what's it called, duct, yes, from there to there, which only works when driving, versus when you have an intake with an enclosed box, feeds air straight there. So I'm going to compare the temperatures on the same day. Basically drive, leaving the car running, checking the temperatures, etc, 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 and closed box versus open air filter. Anyway, that's something for later. So this is my plastic video and my u-pol do-it-yourself side skirts for now. I know it was long. Let me know if you want to see something else, because I don't have to do a lot on the car. So if you want to see something, just tell me. And see you next time. Peace out.